Thank you for charging.
So I just started this live, right? Because I have someone in my my DMs that's trying to debate me. Okay, bro, come on. I see you in the chat. Time to join. I see you in the chat, my brother. You have a lot to say. Let's have a respectful debate. Let's have a respectful conversation. I'm always down. Pro Mill Manifesto. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. That's the Discord, right? I'll check it out. Bro, what is up? What is up?
Hello.
Hello. Could you hear me? Yes, I know I'm not black. I could look in the mirror.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you. I can hear you. What is up? What is up? I just want preference. I'm
Yeah,
at
I'm
work,
here.
so
Okay.
depending on, I don't know how long this conversation will go, but I want to do a
Okay, so
conversation.
I got a big problem with you.
Yes, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation.
I
I
have a
wanted
big
to have a back and forth, respectful
Okay, I got you.
conversation. All right, so I'll let you start out. Well, before this, right? I want to preference my basis, right? So the videos I make are reaction videos. I show you a clip, I'm talking about it. So this is not like me just making shit up out of nowhere, right? Just bringing things out of nowhere. Two, right? A lot of times when I say certain things, I mean a specific group. Unlike black people that believe in racism, black people that are that are shackled to the past. So it's a certain type of black people, right? Those are some of the case. I've said this countless times before. I love the black community. I think they're the coolest community around. Two, I respect black ancestors. I don't discredit that. Yes, black ancestors help establish the U.S. to be more friendly, be more accepting of minorities of other races. 100%. I never disagree. I never discredit that. Right. So that is my preference. Is that now you could say what you think, but that's my basis. So I'm not doing this because I need white acceptance, because it does nothing for me, right? It does nothing for me. White acceptance means nothing for me. Okay, so Brew, what's up?
Yeah, okay, so your content, right, is offensive, right, against black people. You might not think so. I don't know why you wouldn't think so. Maybe you should take a look at your content.
No, explain
because
to
I
me.
went down your profile.
Explain to me why it's offensive.
Okay, because your focus as a non-native a non-native to the Americas, not understanding our plight.
First of all, what makes you a native, and what makes me not one?
Because my descendants are indigenous.
Ancestors. You mean your ancestors? You mean your ancestors?
My descendants, ancestors, whatever, are indigenous to the Americas before the white people.
So do we not talk about racism or slavery? So your ancestors weren't brought here over a ship, correct?
Okay, hold on a second. because we're getting off topic.
No.
Now I have
We're on topic because you are questioning my American my credentials. I was
hold on,
born in
hold
America.
on, hold
I lived in America.
Okay.
I born in America, lived
How
in
many
America
generations?
for 42 years.
How many generations? How many generations?
I'm the first generation. But
Okay,
now,
so hold on.
that's your credential. How many generations to be in America that makes you American?
So as I was speaking, as I was saying, I have a mother and a father. My mother is indigenous. My father was brought over here on slave. My father's ancestors were brought over here on slave ships. My mother is indigenous. Okay, or was indigenous because she's not alive now. So when we talk about first generation Americans, quote unquote, right? We're talking about people.
But guys, I'm sorry. I don't want to accept anyone else. I just want to do this with me and Brew because we were having a conversation through DM. So I'm sorry. Please follow if you any other times. If you want to join the conversation, just right now, I want to have a respectful conversation with just me and him. So sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Continue.
So when we're talking about first generation immigrants, right? We're talking about people who are not familiar or haven't went through the same history as the people that have been here for generations, right? So for instance, you came over, right, from your native country and came over here and started criticizing
I did not come over
us.
here, right? I did not come over here. I just said it. I was born in America, 42 years in America.
Okay.
Please
Cool.
get it right.
Okay, cool. So your parents came over here, correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So they fled from their country to come over to America, and then you, the first generation of your family, is criticizing people who have been here for generations and generations and generations and have gone through atrocities that you have never experienced in your life or your parents.
Okay, can I ask you, right? Have your parents experienced slavery?
Hey, so what a
You
type
just
of
said
slavery?
parents.
Yes,
Like,
yes, they have. Yes, they
Your
have.
parents
Yes, they have.
experienced
Yes,
slavery.
yes, they have.
Really?
I've experienced slavery too. Do you know
You
what
experienced
slavery?
slavery. You
Okay.
experienced slavery. Please name me
Are
the white master that enslaved you.
you going to allow me to speak?
I am. I'm asking questions. You're
Okay, cool.
making statements. I
Okay,
need clarifications.
I'm going to stick to my statements, okay? Because again, you apparently don't understand what slavery is.
Then explain it.
When you're in slavery, you are subject to a master. You have no freedom to do as you will.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So as a black person, there are certain rights and privileges we are not privy to. You don't seem to understand that.
For example,
For example, our rights. For example, racial profiling, right? For example, proper justice in the justice system. For example, getting shot by the police and them going home on leave pay and coming back to work.
Let's do it point by point, right? Let's do it point by point, right? Racial profiling. Where is it in the Constitution that or in life that other groups don't get racial profiled?
Okay. So when we see should racial profiling exist at all?
Biases exist. Are you saying that biases don't exist?
No. It's a law. Should we have racial profiling?
Please point me to the law that talks about racial profiling.
Sir, we've been going through a lawsuit. The communities, black communities, have filed lawsuits against the local governments and state governments about racial profiling. You're not aware of that?
I'm not. But here's the thing, right?
It's in the Supreme Court.
I do know, right?
It's in the Supreme Court.
Let's say this, right? I do know that, let's say, exonerations. I looked at the stats, correct. Black people are over-policed, which I've said plenty of times, and they do experience a high level of exonerations. But by those two literally shows you, right, that one, there's a bias over policing. Two, how can you say law when there is a high exoneration where, American, thanks to the American government, they're fighting to exonerate black people.
Oh,
So really, it's
okay.
not necessarily the law; it's the personal biases, right?
Okay.
So that literally debunked your ideal that, you know what, it's the law. I'm not saying
Oh,
there's no law today that is strictly against black people and for, let's say, for white people.
okay. For instance, so you spend 20, 30, 40 years in jail and you're exonerated. Great, right? That's great, right? How about the Central Park Four, accused of essaying that white woman? Remember that? How long was
I know about it a little bit.
Okay, so those men were in jail over 20 some odd years and they got exonerated after that, right? And this is only one one account.
No one is disagreeing
Okay,
that our justice system isn't flawed. Do you
okay,
think
no,
that
no,
there's zero unjust, I don't know, verdicts against white people or Asian people or any other people?
absolutely, it's out of balance. Okay,
First of all, we're not talking
hold
about
on.
balance yet. We're not talking about balance yet. I'm just saying that how can you prove that it's only a black thing, right? When are you saying that no other races experience injustice in the court system? Because no one's
Uh,
disagreeing that there's problems in our court system. I don't disagree with that.
okay. So we got on this path by talking about slavery, right? We talking about being unrightfully uh uh having our rights taken from us.
And that you can't
Not
prove it. Racial profiling is not a right taken away from you, right? And I could go for the whole thing you said about cops being shot. Did you know
oh,
stats? I looked at these up, right? Because I look at actual numbers. When you say cops are shooting black people, if you actually look up the stats, the amount of deaths by cops' hands, with just specifically the black community, ranges about 400. 400, right? About 400 a year. Guess how many homicides is black on black? Almost around 10,000. So I'm not saying do not care, right? Don't care about cops killing black people. That's not what I'm saying. But it's uneven. Like you said, right? You said it, uneven, right? You should 1,000 times care about black on black, a whole lot more white on black. Because it's 1,000 times more, right? Deadly, right? 1,000 times more incidents by black on black. This is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to support white people. I don't give a shit. But what I'm saying is that, you know what? How about look within ourselves? Look within the community before you look without, right? Before you blame the white man racism, how about fix the community? The community is not even perfect. The community is not even close to it. Yet you focus outside the community. This is your mindset, right? You think about the white man, and yet none of your arguments is about, oh, you know what? Maybe we are more of a danger to ourselves than the police are, than white men are, right? Because like I said, millions of babies every year are aborted in the black community. They have the highest abortion rates. And yet you care about black babies? You care about black lives? Highest single mother rates in the black community, right? Highest divorce rates, lowest marriage rates, right? Lowest education attainment. Yeah, I mean, yes, black people, black women are doing better than before. Not saying they're not, but again, they're still at the bottom of the list. So this is my point. I'm not saying that, oh, I love white people, let's support white people. I don't give a shit, right? I'm saying let's fix the black community. Let's focus on the black community. Let's focus on the community instead of, hey, let's think about outside. And like I said, I'm focusing on internet black people that keeps on shackled to the past, which probably seems like you are, right? Constantly think about the past, think about white people, think about white supremacy, white racism and shit like that. F that shit. Think about that after, right? Fix the house before you look out in the streets. Fix that. That's my point. I don't care to gain white validation. It means nothing to me. I care about the black community more than I do about the white community because the white community isn't suffering like I believe the black community is.
okay. So you had your say there. Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, I absolutely care about the issues going on in our community, All right. What you don't understand is what I brought up earlier. You're from a whole nother country and you have
Oh
no
my
idea
God.
about the. You, can I finish saying what I'm
No,
saying?
no, that's what I'm not.
I didn't
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not
interrupt you when you
cool.
talk. Okay. So you're not familiar, nor do you understand the systematic racism that caused us to be in such a position. Now, you want to say, "Oh,
You know that's a
this is
lie.
where you
Do you
get
know?
it."
No. See, do you know
Hold,
that
hold,
Japanese
hold. Can
internment
I
camp?
finish? Can I
No,
finish?
because no,
Can I
I have to,
finish?
because you're going to make more points, right? But I have to stop you at the point,
No,
right? So we can focus on that.
I'm not
You just
making a.
said that
I'm not
Asian people
making.
don't experience that,
I'm
don't
trying.
know it, right? You cannot say
I
that. That
never.
is not true at all.
I I never said. See,
You
you're not listening. I never said that. I never said that. What you're saying right now. That's because you're not listening. Because you're rolling your eyes and walking away instead of listening to what I'm telling you. Right. So what you don't understand is this, things like. Do you know what Jim Crow is?
I do.
Do you know what Jim Crow?
I do.
Okay. So okay. Do you think that this disenfranchisement, right?
Do you know that
and
that was a southern thing?
segregation.
A southern thing
You
that
keep
happened in
interrupting me. You won't let me
like
finish.
lower states?
This is
Because you got to
this is why
clarify.
you don't understand what's going on because you're not
This
trying
is,
to listen. You only want to hear what you want to hear. When I'm trying to explain to you, you
well,
want
we're
to
having a
cut me off.
conversation back and forth, right? That's the thing.
We're having a back and forth. Allow me to finish my point, like I was quiet and let you finish talking. Right. So what you don't understand is these systematic white supremacist systematic laws are what caused us to be in certain positions and have certain mindsets. Right. If you they did a study on rats before, right? Where they put some rats in a small enclosed space and they put another set of rats in an open field, right? The rats in the enclosed space started turning on each other. Okay. So when you add things like redlining, you can't have a job, Jim Crow laws that prevented us from having the freedoms and having the things that we needed to be free, that's going to cause internal damage.
Okay, I mean,
Right. That's what you don't understand.
I don't want. Okay, let's stick with that point, right? Let's stick with that point because I don't want to go further into other points because we're not going to talk about certain points, right? So you talk about redlining, you talk about generational trauma. First of all, right? Here's the thing where I'm on a personal thing where I use comparisons, right? I use real world evidence. Redlining, all other communities, minorities have experienced that too. It's usually poor minorities, right?
What community?
You're redlined into certain districts.
Who?
Chinatown
What
is a
community?
redlining,
What
right?
community?
Chinatown, all these like
No, it's not.
specific.
No, it's not.
You
No,
want
it's
to
not.
you want to
No,
bet that
it's
in?
not.
I'm pretty sure Chinatown
Yeah, I do
would
want
be
to bet.
categorized as redlining.
No, no, you're pretty sure, or are you sure? Because it's not redline. It's a community they created for themselves.
No, they were put into
Stop
it.
it.
They were put into it. What are you
No, they
talking
weren't.
about?
Brother.
They were put into a
No,
community
they weren't.
that were only
Okay.
themselves. Because
Okay.
because
This
you
is
know
what I
what?
want you.
Businesses, right? Businesses
Okay.
like, let's say, you
Post
see
it.
the Asian nail salons, you see
Prove
Chinese
it.
stores, you see laundromats. Guess
I
what?
want you to
They
prove
were
it.
put into these jobs because they weren't
I
allowed
want.
other jobs, right? So this is the thing where
I
I
want
said
you.
this, right? I
I
don't
want you to
think
prove.
we're
I
having
want you
back
to
and forth.
prove Chinatown
I
is redlining. Redlining. I want you to prove that.
well, I want you to prove that it's
That's
not.
a lie. That's a
Well,
lie.
then prove it's a lie. Prove it's not.
First, it's easy to prove that it's not. To
Okay.
prove that the people who were redlined, and we know what people were redlined, what group of people were redlined, and it wasn't
That's
Chinese
not
people.
proof. That's not proof. Prove to me, right, that Asian communities weren't put into a specific community. Prove to me.
You made the claim.
You
Prove
said no.
that they were.
You said that they weren't.
No. You made the
You
claim.
said it's only
You
a
have
black
to.
thing. No, you said it's only a. You
The-
brought up redlining. I didn't bring up redlining, right? I'm saying that other communities experience it too. You're trying to say it's specific to the black community.
Okay, so you made that statement. So the burden of proof is on you to prove that
You
other
are bringing up
communities were
redlining.
involved
I
in
didn't bring it
redlining.
up. I didn't bring up redlining.
Exactly. You brought up other communities being involved in redlining. So the burden of proof is on you to prove that was involved. Other communities were involved in that. That the burden of proof is on you for your claim.
Okay, give me a minute. Well,
Hey, I don't care
let's
about
way to
none
do
of
it.
you,
Let's ask the internet.
or none of you people in the comments. I'm hardly even reading the comments, so y'all can say what y'all want. I'm hardly even looking at them. So go ahead, but go ahead. So let's see your proof.
Yes, Asian American
Show me what.
experiencing. This is a shelter.org. Shelter.org. It's a .org thing, right? Shelter.org. Right? Asian American experience housing
So it's
discrimination
an
and
organization.
redlining.
So it's an organization. It's an organization and not factual evidence,
What is
right?
factual? What is factual then?
Okay,
What would you use as factual?
documented proof,
It's
historical
how's
proof.
it? What? Where do you think the historical proofs would come from?
It will come from newsletters.
Newsletters. So newsletters
re-
are more credible.
Hold on. I'm talking about at that time. It would be newsletters. It would be government statistics. It would be
Government statistics. You don't think
right.
that? You don't think .org wouldn't gather government statistics?
Read it. Read your evidence.
All right. While federal redline maps by the Homeowners Loan Corporation primarily target black neighborhoods, local real estate practices, racial housing covenants, and neighborhood grading systems also restricted Asian Americans, forcing them into segregated enclaves like Chinatown and Japantowns.
Hold on. Force them into it?
Yes.
Okay, which means what? They created it themselves.
No.
It means
it's
hold
when
on,
you no,
hold on,
look at
hold
this, right?
on.
When you push a group of people together, as in Chinese people, they didn't name their own town Chinatown. That wasn't their name that they made up. It's because they lived together, and then over years it was established as a Chinatown.
Okay,
Asian people don't name their own. They're not naming their own town or shit like that, right?
Let's break down what that said. That said that it was predominantly for who?
What do you mean predominantly for who?
Read it again. It said
Primarily target black neighborhoods. Is that what you're talking about?
Hold on. Let's look at this wording. Prominently targeted.
Oh, remember, I never said it didn't happen to black people. That's not what that's not my claim.
Hold on. It's reading and telling you the intent and target was black people.
Again, that's not my claim. Your claim, I said, was it only black people? You're making it out to only black people. I said other groups experience it too. That's my claim. I've never said black people don't experience this.
Hold on. They didn't experience redlining. What did
they experience? I literally proved it. What's your proof?
Hold on. What they experienced was not being able to get certain amenities or economic necessities, right? As far as loans and things like that, to get what they needed. Your Asian people went through that too, and I tried to tell you that too. So, but it didn't redline them. So what they did was form their own communities and towns, which we also did, which was burned down.
I don't discredit that. I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you. I don't see. Okay. I think you're looking past what I'm talking about, right? I said this in the beginning, right? I never discredit Black history. I never did, right? What I discredit is that, you know what? One, Black people make it out to it only happens to them. That's a false. That's a lie, right? And Black people make it out that, okay, because it happened to your ancestors, your parents, your grandparents, it has to affect you now. I'm not saying that it's a zero effect game. I'm saying that don't make it shackled. Don't be shackled to the past. This is the problem. I reiterated many times again, right?
Sure.
Black communities are shackled to the past. Stop it.
Okay.
Redlining today, you can move to a suburban neighborhood. You can move to wherever you want.
Okay, first of all, you're wrong there.
What? Are you kidding? So you're telling me, right? Black people cannot move. Are you telling me that?
I'm I'm telling you, for us to move to upscale neighborhoods, which are predominantly white, we are ostracized or blackballed into moving there by guess who? Real estate agents,
Wait,
because we're black. You don't
so,
believe that either, do you?
so you're saying, right? Your words are saying that real estate agents are not letting you move into the suburbs?
I'm not saying no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
I'm
saying we've
clarifying.
been
What are you saying?
blackballed. We're being black. We're moving into certain neighborhoods, and because of our color, they don't want us there. They have HOAs. They don't want us there. They
But you know,
won't
wait,
allow us to move.
do you realize
You're not
HOA,
listening.
right? HOA, no, because you bring in things up, right? I'm not, again, I've seen certain studies. I don't disagree, right? There are certain communities, right? There are people that, you know what? They will make it hard for black people to move in certain places. I never disagree with that. Plus, if you know our justice system, there are cases that have been won because of those discrimination, right? To say that America is racist, and then on this flip side, that America does contribute or help fight against those racism is quite funny, right? And second, again, right, saying that things are that people aren't biased is unrealistic, right?
What?
This is
What?
why I said that you're being shackled to the past.
How,
You don't
okay,
have to move
I,
there, right? You can
I
move
need you.
somewhere else.
I need you to define how we're shackled to the past. I need you
Because
to kind of expand on
okay,
that a little
okay.
bit.
So when I mean by the black community is shackled to the past, because they allow it to be their excuse for everything. So you
Allow
talk
what?
about slave.
Allow what past?
You ask me a question, I'm
What
answering it.
past are you
Right?
talking? What
So
past are you talking about though? Because you're
the
being
past,
vague.
slavery, Jim
You're
Crow,
being vague.
white supremacy,
Okay.
racism.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Uh,
racism today isn't stopping black people from doing anything. You can still buy
white
a home.
supremacy.
You can still
White
move.
supremacy.
You can
White
still.
supremacy isn't preventing us from doing anything.
What is it stopping you? Could you not buy a home today? Please tell me. Could you buy
White
a home today? I'm not saying
white.
any specific place, but could you buy a home today?
It should be any specific place, shouldn't
That's
it?
not how the world works. That's not how the world works. Because
No,
if you're
no,
saying
it,
that,
no, no,
could
no,
you
no,
right
no,
now
no,
go to
no.
China and buy a house?
If
Could
you're
you go
asking
to
me,
China and buy a house? Could
I
you
ain't
go to
talking about
Africa
China.
and you could buy a house?
Hold on, we're not talking about China and Africa. We're
But no,
talking
but
about.
so you just said it should be. That is a
Hold on,
lie. That's not how the world
hold on,
works,
hold
right?
on, hold on,
Could you
hold
buy a
on,
house? You can
hold on.
go somewhere and buy a house.
We're focusing on America, and you
I,
agreed there are places that we cannot move into because of what? Racism. Are you
okay,
telling me? Hold on. Are you telling me white supremacy doesn't affect black people? Is that what you're saying?
can I
Are you
ask,
saying
right?
it no
Can I
longer
ask you
exists?
if
Are you saying it's not in the government? Is that what you're telling me?
yeah, it's not, first it's not in the government.
Oh,
Prove me,
holy
show me the
shit.
law. Show me the law that is preventing you from doing anything.
Pre- a law that's preventing us from doing. I just gave you a couple
You didn't give me a law.
racial
You said racial profiling. That's not a law. And you said
racial
bias in housing.
racial
Housing.
racial.
That's not a law. That's personal bias, right? That's
Okay,
company bias. And
okay,
literally, I
okay.
showed you that the government is helping fighting those discrimination cases, and a lot of discrimination cases has been won.
You're talking about law as if it works.
You just said the
You're
government is
hold
law.
on, hold on,
What do you think the government is?
hold
The
on,
government isn't
hold on,
HOA.
hold
The
on, hold
government
on,
isn't the HOA.
hold on
The
a second.
government isn't the individual cop that's racial profiling you. That's not the
Let me
government.
let me explain something to you. Do you think the Constitution of the United States was for black people?
No.
Okay, it wasn't for black people. So under the Constitution resides laws. So the laws are for white people.
Can I ask you?
They're not. Hold
I
on.
answer your question. Do you say
Okay.
that our system hasn't changed?
No, hell no.
Hasn't changed. Civil Rights
No.
Act wasn't passed.
Yeah, yeah, it was. So, but it
No,
haven't
no, no, no.
changed.
Literally, that just destroyed your whole argument. You
Okay,
said
how?
no. You said our system hasn't changed. I
No.
literally disproved your argument, your viewpoint, right there. I literally just
Okay,
disproved it. Do you
okay,
concede to that? Do you concede that
I,
you are wrong?
okay. In the way you're looking at it, I'll concede to it. The way I'm looking at it, I don't concede to it.
Okay,
because if you can change a law, right, to cover yourself, but still violate those laws, and because you're in control
show
of the
me the
law,
law.
you don't have to.
Show me the
In
law.
other words, you don't have to. You don't have to keep the laws that you
You
supposedly made for people, right?
you just asked me,
You
right?
don't
You
have to
asked me
keep
to
them.
prove. No, you just asked me to prove the redlining thing, and I did. Now I need you to prove what law are you talking about that's disadvantaging black people?
Okay, how about the I believe it's the 13th Amendment that puts you makes you a slave again. Puts you it makes you, if you get locked
If
up.
you're a
Okay,
criminal,
here's how. Hold on. If you get arrested, you have to
thank
go.
you,
If you
Tom.
get arrested and prosecuted, you have to go uh, and work for the state. You belong to the state, and you're working for free, which is pretty much slavery. Okay, so how did so we also know, and you admitted to the people that are exonerated, the people that are exonerated the most from unjust laws and railroading are black people. So what's happening here is black people are being falsely judged and arrested and falsely prosecuted and put into slavery.
You're let me say this, right? You're conflating two things, right? One, I believe criminals should be punished, right? Two, correct. People who are falsely accused or falsely punished should be exonerated, right? Those are two different things. So do you believe that criminals shouldn't be punished?
After how long? After 20,
I
30
don't care
years?
how long. I don't care how long. Do you believe criminals shouldn't be punished?
Okay, you don't care. If you didn't do anything
That's two different things, right?
to be
I
to
agree.
be
We should exonerate. We should free people who are innocent. I don't disagree. Do you believe that criminals should be punished?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So how they're punished? Well, that's up to the system. That's the system. Now, I agree. We're on the same page. Our justice system is messed up, right? We have plenty of people that are
Who
innocent,
runs the system?
that are,
Who
you know
runs the
what, that
system?
should be
Who
found
runs the
guilty.
system?
No disagree with that.
Who who runs the system?
White
Who
people.
runs the system?
White people.
Okay. Are white people, is there white supremacy in America in the government?
Let me play this logic game, right? Do you believe that Africa?
I see you want to answer that.
I don't believe that, right? Because by that notion, right, by that idea, do you believe Africa experienced black supremacy?
The majority of people there are black, and nowadays, what that
No,
varies from
listen what you just
state
said, right? Listen to what you just said.
to the country.
Do you know the
Because
makeup
the
of
South,
America?
because
Do
the
you know the
South
makeup of
America is not
America?
so.
Do you know the
Yeah,
population sizes of America, of racial groups in America?
yeah,
What is it?
yeah. Well, white people are about 144 million or so, or 150 million or so. Black people are about 44, 45 million. Um, Asians, I'm sorry, then Latinos. Well, Latinos are more than us, maybe 50, 60 million.
So
Uh,
by this is the fallacy in your logic, right? So white people make about
how is it
60 to 70% of the population.
Well,
So I'm not
gave you
saying that it's
numbers.
white
What
supremacy.
you
I'm just saying
say?
it's the makeup of the country.
No,
No duh,
no.
they represent most of everything. They make up most of everything. So to say if you believe white supremacy, you believe black supremacy for Africa, Chinese supremacy, it's kind of ridiculous, right? The supremacy
Okay,
shit.
hold on. Let me give you an example. In South Africa, 92% of the people are so-called melanated black people. The government is run by white people, 8%. So your logic is flawed.
How?
Okay, there's a problem there.
How?
What do you mean how? You said it's because of the amount of people that is automatically going to be that way. That's not how it works.
What do you just
Right?
said that
That's not how it's
80%? You just said 80% of South Africa government is run by white people, or 80%?
no 8%.
8%. 8% is
92%. 92% of the people in South Africa are black people.
okay.
8% of of the community is white people.
So the
But
majority of the
that
government is black.
8%,
So you said the majority of the
no,
government is black?
no, it's not. No.
You just okay.
In
So you
South
said
South Africa, the majority of the
clarify it.
government is white people.
So how many
It's
percent?
white people.
8% or 80? Or what? What's the percentage is
Eight,
white people?
eight. 1,
8,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8%.
8%. 8% of the government is white people. So that means
Yes. No,
92% is black.
Not the government.
Of what?
8% of the people.
Oh,
The
8% of the people are white. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And 8% of the people run the government.
Wait, well, okay. You said 8% of the population is white.
And they run
Is
the
that what
government.
No. Okay. Let's clarify. Are you saying the government is 8% white people, or the population is 8% white people? Which one are you saying?
Okay. Let me clear this up. 8% of the population is white people.
Okay.
However, those white people among that 8%, the government is run by the people among that 8%.
So you're saying the South African government, the majority of the South African government is white.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
You can fact check that if you want. You can fact check that if you want. So what I'm saying, what I'm telling you, this is all about white supremacy, right? And what we experience as black people from white supremacy, and the people that run the government, who you admit are majority white people who are white supremacists. See, for instance, y'all got a hate bill, we didn't.
You got Civil Rights Act.
Y'all had a couple. Did we get a hate bill? Or did
Civil
y'all get
Rights
a hate
Act
bill?
is that?
Did Asians get a hate bill?
Okay, wait. Let's clarify. No, white people do not make up the majority of the South African government. South Africa has a black majority government led by the African National Congress, which has held power since the end of apartheid in 1998. White people comprise a small minority of overall population, about 7%, and do not run the state, though the coalition agrees that includes some opposition figures. Literally, that doesn't prove it. So they just said that. I mean, like I literally look it up. So I mean, you got to give me some counter.
Read it again.
What do you want me to read again?
The first part.
No, white people do not make up the majority of the South African government. South Africa has a black majority government led by the African National Congress, which has held power since the end of apartheid in 1994.
Oh, they're talking about Congress.
We're talking about the government.
Okay, cool.
What are you talking about?
So I'm talking about overall government.
Where are you getting? Okay, now I proved mine. I don't know where you're getting your numbers from. I don't know where you're getting your data.
Okay. So where I am it's 2 a.m. So I can't.
Well, I mean,
people are sleeping, so I can't.
Well, we don't have to. I mean, again,
What?
Fine. We can move on from that, right? We don't have to stick to that, right? But again, you're not. We'll go back to what I said about shackles, right? This is the problem. I think the black community as a whole, not individually, right, as a whole, is suffering because they're shackled to the past. They use the past. They use slavery, Jim Crow, which Jim Crow, right, was mostly in the South. And during Jim Crow, the black community had the highest marriage rates, lowest divorce rates. They were grown economically. So even if you say Jim Crow, black people at their worst were doing better than black people now. Now they're doing better than black people now, right? Studies and stats are showing.
I agree with you, but it wasn't because of Jim.
Hold on, right? So
no,
the black community
it wasn't because of Jim Crow.
I didn't say it was because of Jim Crow. I'm saying that black people were at their best during their worst times.
And I'm going to explain to you why.
I know. I understand why. I know why. I do. Why? It's because they have family unity. They believe in religion. They had morals. They had, literally, they had that. They had a two-parent system, right? The patriarchy was running the black community, right? Today, the matriarchy is. That's why we have.
That's not the reason. That's not the reason.
What's the reason?
The reason is because we were segregated. We
See,
had our,
that's what I'm
we,
saying.
listen, okay, because we were segregated. We did better. We
Literally,
did better. Hold on,
you just blame redlining to a
hold
failure of the
on a
black
second.
community. And now
Hold
you're
on a second.
saying because
Hold
of
on a second.
redlining, you were doing
Hold,
better.
hold, hold on a second. Redlining was based on. Hold on.
Guys,
Redlining. Hold on. Redlining was based on housing loans and personal loans.
I know, but it
That's why.
was.
Okay, so it wasn't about segregation in that sense. Okay, what we're discussing right now. What I'm telling you is being segregated away from white people and running our own communities by ourselves, where we had our own policing, and our own local governments. We did much better. When we integrated, all this shit started after Martin Luther King, uh, and they signed a civil rights bill, which brought integration, right? When we all started getting together, that's when things started falling apart. Okay,
So no, no,
I,
wait,
I'm for
So
segregation.
let's stick with that, right? So you're saying, right, your failures today, what the black community's failures today, why they can't succeed, why they can't be better, was redlining. I mean, one of it was redlining. But then you also, in the same tone, said, you know what? When black people were experiencing the worst of redlining, when they were experiencing the worst of society, they were succeeding because of redlining.
No. You said that. Okay.
No, you're the one who
Redline.
said. I said no.
Hold
I
on.
didn't even bring up redlining. I didn't even bring up
What?
segregation. I brought up
No.
they were the most religious. There's two-parent households. The lack of single mothers. The importance of morals. How the patriarchy was leading the black community. Now it's the matriarchy that's leading the black community. I did not say a single thing about segregation or
Okay.
redlining. Any of that. You brought it up.
What you said was you made a conclusion that I never made.
It's segregation,
Right?
not redlining.
You
It's
made this.
segregation, not redlining.
Okay, hold on. Segregation, right, is different from redlining. That's a whole different issue. Okay, it's one is in might be a subtopic of the other, right, for a different
I'm
reason.
not saying it's.
But when
I'm
we
not saying
talk about,
8 to 8. It's not 8
hold
to
on,
8, but it's again right.
okay,
Segregation is the
okay, hold on.
result is the result of or it's the redlining is the pretty much the what established segregation, right?
Okay,
Because you are
okay.
putting black
So,
people away from white people, i.e.,
so
redlining,
here's
i.e., segregation.
okay. So hold on. So if we're segregated and we're allowed to buy certain properties, right? We're going to start to generate generational wealth. But if we can't buy certain land and properties, and we're only uh, redlined or limited to certain areas and not able to buy properties and land, we're not going to progress. So even though we're segregated and we're doing well family wise and community wise, economic growth is a problem. When economic growth becomes a problem and we become poor and impoverished, more problems come about. That's what this is what you're not understanding and not seeing.
I saw a comment, right? I saw a comment that said, redlining came out of segregation. No, redlining did not come after segregation. It was a specific systemic tool used to enforce and deepen segregation, right? Redlining began in the 1930s under the New Deal, right? While racial segregation in America existed long before, right? So it's always happened, right? It's just that now it's just you put a name to it. That's the thing. You put a name to it. Segregation, you putting people in a specific group of place, right? It's always happened, right? So to say that segregation, like trying to distinct, this is the thing where trying to distinct the two is not necessarily correct, right? It's not necessarily correct. Now, yes, you're saying it's a tool, but again, right? It's synonymous with each other, right? They're just now saying it's a tool used, but again, it was segregating people was always a thing. But I just want to say that. Continue what you're saying.
Okay, let me show you something. Okay, I was born in the 60s, in the late 60s.
Yeah.
Okay, so my father went through Jim Crow. Okay, my uncle was beat to death by Southern
I
Police
never
Department.
I
Okay, hold
never
on.
discredited the
Let me get to my
past.
point. Let me get to
Yes,
my
please
point.
get to your point. Because you're
Let me
harping on
get
the
to my
past.
point.
We're not going to go nowhere.
No. Because what you don't understand is my father and me, my father's connection to me isn't necessarily the past. I'm still alive and my dad is still alive.
Yes,
They're
but if
still alive.
you're
Okay,
traveling right now, right? You're
okay,
traveling right
hold
now.
on.
It's not
Okay,
free,
hold
right? So
on.
it's like this. Is what I'm saying. If black people, you
Hold,
can't. Okay,
brother,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
hold on a second. Okay, so my father experiencing uh this wealth gap, right, where he's not able or allowed, and he also served in the service. He also served in the military, where he's not able, right, to buy certain properties or certain land, right, so he can get wealth from it, so he can make money from it and give me some, affects me and my children, right? Where there is a white person who can buy this plot of land, can buy this property, they can generate wealth from it and give it to their children. So
Can I ask you, right? Do you think white people, well, poor white people can do that? Poor white people can buy land. Poverty-stricken white people, could they do that? Could they do what you just said?
Why are white people poverty stricken?
Why
And
black
they
people?
have
It's like,
they have every ability and
what is every
everything
ability?
on
It's
their
like,
side.
this is the problem, right? This is the problem. This is the excuse, right? You
What do you
believe
mean
just
excuse?
because they're
We're
skin
talking about
tone
white people.
that
We ain't
they
talking
should
about
be
black people.
wealthy. Yes. You believe that because people are white, they should be achieving. They're not. By population size, right? There's more poor white people than poor black people. By population size, there are more poor white people than poor black people.
Do you know what
Stop
the
it.
wealth gap? Do you know what the wealth gap is between
I
black people
do.
and white people?
I do.
What is it?
But here's
What
the
is it?
thing, right?
What is it?
Do you know that?
Hold on. What is it?
I believe that white people probably make about 60K on average a year compared to black people making about 30 to 40.
No, sir. No.
I can literally show you the stats.
It's like black people make 44,000 on average. White people make about 140,000 on average.
No, they don't. I literally have the stats.
Let's read it. Look it up. Look at the wealth gap. Let's check that out. Because there's about $100,000 difference in the wealth gap between blacks and whites. You there?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Okay.
And I just want to say thank you for joining the live. It's I love the respectful conversation. All right, so thank you.
Okay. I appreciate it. We could talk about things.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay,
so,
what you got?
Medium household income. Asian people, 121,000. White people, 92,000. Latinos, 70,000. Black, 56,000.
Wait. What year are you looking at, and where's that stat coming from?
This is, what's the year is this? It doesn't say year. I'm trying to look at the year.
I just looked at that. That's way off. I don't know what you're looking at.
This is 2026.
Yeah. You honestly. Hold on. Let me go on the teacup and get it. Let me go on the teacup. I'm gonna get it for you.
Yeah.
Let me go on the teacup.
Go for it. And again, this is a thing where I continue while you're doing, right? But this is a thing where this is why I talk about this, right? In 1 to 2 generations, Asian people, right, are outdoing white people. Why is that? It's not because that, white people love them, right? It's not because white people love them. It's not because of, America is beneficial to them, but their own country wasn't. That is not it, right? That is not it. That is a no. That is I use that as my barometer. How or poor, right? Poor. Oh no, I'm sorry, right? Brew. This is 2024 annual economic figures. So it's 2024. So I just want to correct that, right?
Hold on.
Not 2026. It's
Okay,
2024.
hold on. Got you.
I just wanted to correct that,
So,
right?
okay, cool. I got you. Google this wealth gap between whites and blacks. Just put that in. Watch what you get. And read the overview, please.
Okay, so I guess this is where you're coming from, right? So the median wealth gap between white and black families in the United States stands at 240, right? 240,000, while black families, right, about 44,000, right?
Exactly. So we have a over $200,000 difference between whites and blacks. Now I'm gonna ask you a question. How did that happen? I guess we're lazy, right?
I never said that.
How did it happen? How did that happen?
It's mindset, behavior, work, different type of ethics, right? The amount of people, the amount of black people that go into education that attains a degree isn't as high.
Brother, my man, it's because you're black and you can't be in this circle. We're not going to let you on Wall Street. We don't care how much you know about the stock market. We're not going to let you in these corporations and be any higher than a manager of one of our local places. We're not going to let you up here and be a vice president of a Sony corporation or so forth and so on. Stop it, man. This is what I'm talking about white supremacy. They prevent us, right, from having certain opportunities that they have. That's why the gap is so huge. And let's not forget that the way they do it is the way they started is with the educational system. In our communities, in our schools, they may have a welding shop, a plumbing trade, so forth and so on. In white schools, they'll have a little setup for news anchors. They'll teach them about stock. They'll show them about business. They'll have business courses for them in high schools. They have a different curriculum for whites and blacks, and we can also look that up and see if that's true. Okay, so this curriculum and the setup from white supremacy is to keep a certain people in a certain position and raise up a certain other people and put them in a certain position. That's why we have this $200,000 gap. It's not because black people are lazy and we're complaining. So you wonder why we got a problem.
I never said
what's going on with white people.
I never said about the laziness. I don't point out laziness because that's not
okay. So
laziness isn't necessarily indicative. Well, I literally said it.
Okay,
right?
so how?
What I point out, right, is that
okay,
you gotta think the differences, right? So when you compare white families to black families, guess what makes up the majority of black families? Single parent household.
You're gonna say the fathers. You're gonna say the fathers, right?
Lack
You're gonna
of
say the
two-parent
mothers.
household
You're
income.
gonna say the mothers.
While white families, they make up 2-parent household incomes. So there is obviously there's a disparity.
Okay.
Obviously,
let's talk about
when you
that.
also include that
Let's
they quantify about 60 to 70% of the population. There is a disparity, right? I never once. This is a thing where I don't. Sometimes like certain people make an argument that, you know what? Oh, I disagree to the problems of the black community. No, I don't. I don't disagree to the problem of the black community.
You're
I
quiet.
disagree to it that you blame the white man
You
to
said
the problem,
we're
right? You
complaining.
blame the white man,
You
you blame
said we
racism, you
complain.
blame Jim Crow, you blame
But
slavery, you blame the white man for the problem. That's what I'm talking about.
okay.
Because
Again, I'm
no,
going to point.
wait. I want to do this, right? Because I make a clear distinction, right? Why is it that Asian immigrants, right? They don't, majority of Asian immigrants, yes, there are some that come through H-1B visas, which usually those are the ones that are either already educated or middle class. Majority of Asian people come here as refugees or sponsorships. So they come here as low income individuals, right? And yet in 1 to 2 generations, not much longer than you or me, right? Not much longer than you or your father, they have surpassed white people. They have surpassed white people in high marriage rates,
How did that happen?
in low divorce
How did that
rates,
happen?
in
How did
education
that
rates,
happen?
because of mindset,
Okay,
behavior,
how did that
community,
happen?
2-parent household.
No.
I'm literally telling you
Let me
how it's happening. I'm literally telling you how it's happening, right? It's community, it's mindset, it's work ethics, right? It's like having a marriage consciousness, education attainment, right? The focus on gaining education, right? Almost every Asian family pushes their child to be the best in education. We all know that's a stereotype, but that's a true stereotype.
Hold on. Let me explain something to you. What you're leaving out. Certain Asians that
That's a
come
lot. You
over
don't
here
think they don't have a
get their
baggage?
degrees.
We literally talked about like
Hold on.
wars, and
Hold
all
on.
the other stuff that Asian communities have experienced. Asian people have plenty of baggage. I'm sorry.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Sorry.
Let me explain something to you. What Asian people do is they get just like the people from India, Pakistan, etc. They get their degrees in their country.
I literally just proved it. I literally just proved it. I just said I literally just said the H-1B visa, right? This is why I brought it up, because people like you always bring it up. That isn't the majority of Asian immigrants, right? That isn't the majority, right?
How much of it? How much? What percentage is it? You don't know.
I know that it's not the majority. You tell me. You're the one saying it is.
Listen, okay, let me explain something to you. See, over here, where I'm at right now, I'm gonna tell you where I'm at right now, right? So I'm in Southeast Asia, and the country I'm in, the women here and people get degrees and certificates in nursing and healthcare. And what they do is take that, and this is the majority. They don't go to America and get nursing and healthcare degrees because it's too expensive. They get them here, go to America and apply those degrees. And they're more than and they're not the ones that are being racially profiled or segregated or stopped from being in these professions, because most of the people from this country, they need them for healthcare and nursing assistance, right? So they use them, they allow them, they put them in those degrees. Now everybody knows that black women especially have many degrees in many areas, but over 100, 200,000 of them just got fired and laid off for some reason because of Donald Trump's DEI.
H-1B visas, right, make up less than 2% of the total foreign-born population living in the U.S. 2%.
I'm sorry. What's the HB1 visa?
It's thing where you apply if you're a student or if you have it's like you come here because you're educated or for a job, right? So you get, like, let's say a job at Google, a job at Apple, or like a high-paying job, or because like a nurse, right? A nurse. You come here because of the job, because you're already educated. That's the H-1B visa, right?
And let me ask you an honest question. Okay. How many Asian people come here through marriage visas?
Sponsorship. I said that, sponsorship. The majority came through sponsorship.
Okay, exactly. And when they're sponsored here, do they have degrees?
No. What do you mean? They came here not. They came here not having degrees, or you know what? I'm going to correct myself. There's no stats on saying, oh, the ones that come here through sponsorship have degrees. There's no information on that.
Let me explain something to you. I'm in the Philippines right now, right? And I could tell you for a fact,
You cannot
right,
compare
that they
modern day to like,
hold
let's
on.
say, it's like you're
I'm
jumping back and
giving you,
forth. Which one are you
hold
doing?
on.
You talking about modern day, or are you
Hold
talking
on.
about the past?
No, I'm talking about now. I said I'm in the Philippines right
Yeah. So,
now.
so to be honest, like
And
this is
what
the thing
they
where
do, hold on.
I'm
And
kind
what Asians, what the people do here is get degrees here and then go to America.
okay. What is stopping
Okay,
Black Americans from getting degrees today?
white supremacy. Okay. First of all,
What
we do
white
have
supremacy?
degrees. Okay, first of all, we do have degrees. We do have degrees.
Okay, yeah.
But black women have more degrees than almost any other
No,
race
Black
in
women have
America.
more degrees than Black men. They don't have more degrees than every other group. They don't.
Almost every other.
No, they
Almost
don't.
every other.
They don't.
They do.
Asian women out earn degrees than them. White
I
women
said
even out earn
almost.
them.
I said almost. And white women
They don't.
outnumber them. Okay, women outnumber black women. But anyway, we do have degrees.
I never.
But
That's what I'm saying, right? It's like if
but hold on.
we're comparing today. That's what I'm saying.
Well, hold on. Let me give you an example. What did Charlie Kirk say? Charlie Kirk said he wouldn't fly with a black airline pilot.
Brother Charlie
right?
Kirk.
And this
in context. Why? Why did he say that? Why did he say that?
Because he's racist.
See, that's what I'm saying. You are shackled to racism.
Why did he say it?
He said that because of DEI. Because there are, and it's been shown through studies that there are some airlines that are hiring people, right, based on their race, right?
Okay,
so
cool.
when they say that, when they see a white person and a black person, they're more likely to hire a black person to meet a quota thanks to DEI. So you will question, okay, is it because of their qualification? Right? Purely, is it because they're the best of the best, or because they can? How can you tell? Because they
how can you tell? How can you tell if they're a DEI hire or not?
These companies.
How does Charlie Kirk? Hold on. How does Charlie Kirk get on a plane, see a black person, and tell if he's DEI hire or not?
That's not what he said. Right? He's saying that because he read some studies. Right? He's read some studies that there are some airlines, right, that report that they are hiring based on DEI. So if you think like that, right? If you believe that, okay, wow, there are some airlines that do this, maybe other airlines would do it too. So if I'm going on a plane, should I trust that this person is the most qualified, right? The most qualified, or because not like they're not qualified, but probably because they're more about their race. You want the best person to fly your plane so you don't die. You don't care if it's black or white.
Cool. Okay, so what I'm trying to point out is, first of all, factually, Charlie Kirk said out of his mouth, when I see a black airline pilot, hold on, I'm not flying on that plane. That's what he said.
I didn't disagree with that. You took out the context. You don't say the context.
Please, hold on a second. There is no context.
I just gave you it. I just gave you the context.
Bruh, hold on for a second. If you
I don't need to be white to argue logic.
Hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
If you get on a plane and you see a black person, how the hell do you determine whether he's a DEI hire or not?
It is questioning. You question yourself, right? You question the situation.
Why?
It's not because I literally told you why, right? I literally told you why. Because companies are telling people, right? Companies are telling people that they're hiring based on race. Race is a big factor in who they hire. Companies are telling them, right? So I'm not whether he's right or wrong. That's not the problem, right? So we're trying to put context in what you brought up. You said he's racist. I'm saying that this is the context. It's not necessarily that it's not that he's racist. It's that he's put in this context. He's questioning. Oh, so if other companies are hiring people based on their race, is this company that I'm flying under, are they doing the same? So I question it, right? He's not saying that they're not qualified. He's saying, are they the most qualified? Or are they because of their race? Are you skipping over someone who's more qualified purely because of their race? That is the context.
Okay, cool.
He's not saying that, oh my God, black people are just terrible. I don't want to fly with black people.
Cool. So Charlie Kirk gets on a plane. He sees a black person. He doesn't inquire, right? Because I fly a lot. So you can usually meet the pilots and you see the stewardesses going to the plane. So he can't inquire about or find out about how long he's been flying, where he came from,
You
such
can't.
and
You
so
can't. I
forth,
don't think
if
they
he's
would tell
so
you that.
concerned about that, right?
Do they
So
tell you
so
that?
his first and only inclination is he's black. I'm not getting on that plane. That's racism.
Okay. Can I tell you this? Let's see if you test your logic. Do you think it's sexist when a woman, right, at night, let's say 2 o'clock at night, see a group of men walking on the street, and she walks to the other side, any kind of group of men? Would you think that's sexist?
No, not necessarily. No,
You don't think that's sexist
no, not
because
really.
she
No.
sees a group of men walking the other side. She sees a group of men walking towards her, so she walks to the other side. She goes to another street. You don't see that as sexist.
No,
So
that's not sexist. That's smart.
she's judging these group of people
That's
based on their
that's just
stat.
common sense. That's smart.
That's common sense. Why is it common
Mhm.
sense? Why is it common sense?
Because she's a woman
Because she's a
out
woman.
at night,
Because she's a woman at night. Do you know?
right?
Do you know
Right. By herself.
the amount of violence? Right. Do you know about the violence quota is about 300,000 a year. Population of men is about 160. So that is about 1%. 160 million. 160 million. Right. When the amount of men that commit violence is about 300,000. So that's a 1%, about 1% of the population. So I'm not saying that she's right or wrong, right? But what I'm showing you is that there are biases, right? So you say that is logical, right? That is logical. For this woman to have a certain caution, to have a certain bias, you said that's logical, right? For her to, again, majority of men don't commit violence, right? Even though, yes, women like to put out that majority of violence is committed by men, correct. But majority of men do not commit violence. About 1% of men commit violence. Yet
Let me.
that is okay
let-
for someone to have that preconceived notion, that bias, that okay, maybe these men that's coming down me are dangerous. That is logical.
Okay.
But yet, right? Yet, someone who's
It's not
someone who has a bias that's reading something, right? We have to test the logic, right? Someone's reading something that, okay, these airlines are hiring people based on their race. I'm not saying they're not qualified, they're zero qualified, but I'm saying that the qualification is the number one qualification is race. So you can't say that it's not logical to question it, right? To question it.
So if you see, so hold on. So if you see a white pilot, you can automatically assume he's not a DEI and he's definitely qualified. Is that what you're saying?
Because white people are not included, white men are not included in DI.
So so regardless of the fact whether he got a fake license, whether he's a terrible pilot or whether because he's white, it's cool.
We can't prove that at all, right? We can't prove a black person is terrible.
Exactly.
But we can
You
prove.
can't
What we
prove this.
can prove. What we can prove. It's a
can't
fact.
prove-
It's been like he's like literally out of his mouth, right? His thought is that companies. Please listen, right? Companies are saying that they're hiring people based on their race. That is what companies are saying. That's what he can't prove. He can't prove if companies are letting them go because they test zero on a score or they're terrible pilots. No, but what he's saying is that their number one qualification, not that their only qualification, is because of race. So you question, okay, am I in a plane with someone who has the best qualifications, or am I under a plane with someone who has decent qualification, but they were mainly hired to fit a quota? That's what you question.
Okay. Let's stay here, but let's focus on this DEI thing, right? Why was DEI put in place?
It's to supposedly to create fairness. Create some more equality.
Exactly. Now this is my point earlier about the wealth gap, right? Because in a point, and it's still going on whether you believe so or not. There's a point in time where a qualified black pilot is going to apply for a job and he's not going to get it because he's black. Because the first thing they ask you on the application is your ethnicity. Are you white, black, Latino, non-Latino, or other? That's what they always say. And we also saw proof, right, and evidence of certain companies discarding people's discarding applications over a person's ethnicity and sometimes their name. If they had a name that seemed like a quote unquote black person, the application wasn't even looked at. It was disregarded. We've seen proof of that in the news and through studies from certain colleges, right? So the problem was that, and still is, that black people were not allowed and privileged to have certain jobs and to make certain amount of money. That's why the wealth gap is so big, and that's why DEI was implied.
Here's
Right? Was
here's my
indicated.
here's my counter to that, right? I don't disagree, right? There are people who like banks or whatever, right? That they're discriminating. But again, our justice system, right? There are plenty of examples of lawsuits about discrimination. So if you believe it, right, file a lawsuit, right? If you believe it, file a lawsuit. But what I'm promoting, right, is that I do believe that we have equal opportunity. We just don't have equal outcome, right? We have equal opportunity. We just don't have equal outcome. And I think the problem is that we are expecting everyone to have equal outcome. So just as rich as white people, black people should be just as rich, right? Just as rich as
No,
just as
no,
educated as white people, black people should be just as educated.
no. You missed the whole point.
No, that
If
is
you
that's
have
the
to,
point of again.
if you have to listen, if you have to apply DEI, there's a problem.
People because people
Even
chose
if you're
to it.
hold on, hold on,
This is the thing
wait a
where
minute, wait a minute.
it's not like you
If
have
there
to
was
apply it.
if there was equal opportunity, you wouldn't have to apply DEI. That's the whole purpose of it, because there's not equal opportunity.
DEI is benefiting white women
Right or wrong?
substantially more.
Hold on, first, before you say that, is that right or wrong?
That is wrong. Because
Okay.
your preconception is
Tell
that
me why.
DEI was in the last, I don't know, 10 or so years. So you're saying that, let's say in the 2010, there was like the black community was experiencing discrimination in 2010.
What? Absolutely. What is wrong? Are you serious? Absolutely. Yes.
So black people couldn't get a
Yes.
job. Black people couldn't get education. There was no wealthy black people. There's no middle class black people.
You're straightening it. Nobody said they couldn't do it or it wasn't done. We're saying when you got the education and the job, it wasn't the job you were educated for.
That's not.
Right? So if you went,
that's no one's fault. That's just you know how many other people experience the same situation?
wow.
How many kids have college degrees and have jobs that that don't really correlate with their degree?
But
They're-
are we talking?
the majority
are
of
we
kids,
talking about, are we talking about colored
right?
people?
Not just
Are we
it
talking
doesn't
about
just
white
happen to
people or
black
colored people?
So you're saying it's majority of black people?
Okay, I'm gonna say this again. The black people have for decades, almost centuries, but for decades in these modern times, and I'm talking about from 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s on up to here,
Like
have
you
been
want to
qualified
jump,
for
jumping
certain.
back and forth, right?
No,
You jump to the
I'm not
past,
jumping back
you
and
jump to
forth.
the
We're
present.
talking about. No. I'm telling you. I said from even back then to the 30s till today. I'm saying that even from that time, we've been qualified for certain jobs and not chosen or told we can't be there.
And why are
It's that
Asian
simple.
people? Why are Asian people outdoing white people?
Because number one, right? If you understand, if you look this up, Asians are classified in today's America as white people.
Prove that.
That's a fact.
Prove
That's
that.
a fact.
You just said it's fact. Prove it.
You could look.
Don't ask me to look it up. You're the one who
told-
said it, right? How many
I told-
times you said that if I
told-
said
I
something,
told
I
you-
should look it up? You have to prove it to me.
Okay,
Prove me
hold
it's
on.
a
I'll
fact
tell you where to
that-
get it from. Hold on.
Prove it to me a fact that America
hold
categorized Asian people as white. That is absolutely ridiculous. To say that America categorized Asian people as white is, prove me. Bro. Oh, man, I don't know if you're... I have so many people wanting to join. I'm sorry, right? I was just I was just debating one person because I created the stream because he was going back and forth with me in my DMs. So I wanted to create a stream for us to go back and forth. Follow if you want to do more debates. I'm at work, so I can't spend hours upon hours doing this, right? So, but thank you for joining, right? Let's debate. Let's have a respectful conversation, right? You could disagree with me. It's all good. I respect you. I respect the hate. I respect those trolls. So I don't mind the hate. Let's have a conversation, right? Let's have a respectful conversation with each other. So